Next week, the eyes of the golfing world will turn to Augusta, Georgia, for the sport's annual rite of spring, the Masters. The world's greatest players have been invited to compete for that famous green jacket. Last year's winner, Englishman Nick Faldo, is playing well enough to suggest that he might join Jack Nicklaus as the only man to successfully defend the title. But he'll face stiff opposition from American Curtis Strange. Having retained his US Open title last year, Strange is acquiring a taste for success in the majors. And Spain's Seve Ballesteros could renew his love affair with the Augusta course if he can stay on dry land. But this man is surely favourite for the title. Australia's Greg Norman. The great white shark will arrive in Augusta as the world #1. But most professionals measure success in terms of how many majors they've taken. Norman has only one, but is in the mood to add a second.
I love the golf course at Augusta. You know, even though I haven't won there, I really feel like I get keyed up way before the tournament even starts.
Many think that Norman's main fault is that he gets too keyed up. With a brilliant final round of 64, Norman fought his way into a three-way playoff for last year's Open title. But on the final hole, when many pros would have played safe, the shark unleashed a 315-yard drive. The ball found a bunker, and Norman's championship ambitions were buried in the sand of Royal Troon.
We all have an aggressive streak in us. I like to play aggressive because I can reach a lot of the par fives and two. And, you know, when you're 240, 250, 260 out, people actually like to see somebody going for the green, so I guess that's why they think I'm aggressive.
It's not just the galleries who love to watch Norman play. The greatest golfer of all time is also a fan.
I think he's overwhelmingly the best golfer playing golf today.
Away from the golf course, Norman's main hobbies are fast cars and fishing. His open nature and golfing prowess have made him one of the most popular public figures in Australia. But Norman does have a problem. He's plagued by one of the most dreaded afflictions in golf, bad luck. At the Masters in 1986, Norman played brilliantly to lead, going into the final round, but he was to become the victim of the greatest storybook finish in golf as Jack Nicklaus birdied his way into the lead. At the last hole, Norman needed a birdie to win. But the golfing gods were smiling on the golden bear and not the shark, and Norman missed out by just one stroke. At the US Open at Shinnecock Hills, Norman again led going into the final round, despite some dreadful behaviour by a small section of the gallery. In the final round, Norman was again overtaken by a golden oldies revival as 43-year-old Raymond Floyd charged to the head of the field while Norman's lead slipped away. Norman crossed the Atlantic to Turnberry for the Open Championship and again led going into the final round.
I was so determined after what had happened at the Augusta and what had happened at the US Open. I had just fired myself up so much and believed in myself so much that I was going to win it that there was not a soul on this earth that was going to beat me.
This time it was the turn of his closest rival, Tomi Nakajima of Japan, to take the lion's share of bad luck. For once, the shark could do no wrong. As the rest of the field fell away, Norman played some brilliant recovery shots to maintain his lead. To a tumultuous reception at the 18th, Norman collected his first major title. The following month at the PGA Championship, Norman became the only man to lead going into the final round of all 4 majors. But on the final hole, he was tied for the lead with Bob Tway. Norman's approach shot spun back into heavy rough, but with Tway in a greenside bunker, the Shark still had the advantage until Tway delivered the cruelest blow of all. Another title slipped away. By April 1987, the wheel had turned full circle as Larry Mize left the Australian cursing his luck after another Masters playoff disaster. Norman has still only 1 major under his belt, but the 1990s could very well be the decade of the Shark.
I've basically mentally told myself I want to play very hard for the next 10 years, and if that's the case, I'm going to play just as hard the next 10 as I did the last 10.